here.
So, hello, Star Wars CCG players, fans, and folks who just want to hang out with me and Charles on a Friday night. Garrett Larson here, Dead Body, on the forums and Slack and everywhere else that matters. I'm joined today with Charles Hickey. I believe it's teacher on all of the things that matter. Did
yeah,
I have that right?
teacher on Jimp and Uncle Curveball on Discord.
Okay. Yeah, I don't even tell people my Discord name because mine was chosen by my children when I was playing Pokemon Go, and they picked my Pokemon Go name, and then so
Excellent.
it's amusing to me, but it's something that would amuse small children, and that was what it was. So we've got some retro action today. We've got Eddie, whose last name starts with an S and is followed by seven other consonants, and I'm not going to butcher it. Nrabbit, Eddie, versus Brad Kippel, Bkippel. Brad always seems to be in the top eight for everything, especially retro related.
He's a good player.
He definitely is. All right, my volume's a little bit low. Let's see if we can turn it up a little bit. Um, this is an interesting format. As we'll kind of talk about the format as they're getting their starting stuff going. We see Watch Your Step versus Agents of the Black Sun. This is a format that never really existed in at any point. It's a decipher
Yeah,
cards only, no episode one cards format. So,
and also no maintenance cards, so no Boba Fett Bounty Hunter,
okay, so no Boba Fett,
and
no
no
Lando,
Screaming Lando,
no Thok and Thug,
no
no
Blizzard
Blizzard
4.
4. Okay,
Yeah,
so it's an interesting format. Like I played in the tournament and didn't do well, although I did play a lot of the guys who were in top eight. So I like to think that I helped them by showing them what not to do. Um,
I was playing Matt Masasi based operations because I was just having fun with it. So definitely wasn't
Fair
doing anything.
enough. I
Okay,
tried
this is a
playing
pretty
Watch
good
Your Step.
first turn for Rabbit here, dropping the Palpatine down to the Cantina right off the bat. Just going to put that pressure on the
Yeah,
smugglers.
this is a great turn because Palpatine's going to be able to go get Force Lightning. Brad only has six Force to work with. I mean, he does battle for free, but that's, saying he can drop three two-cost smugglers on board on Palpatine because you're probably going to lose one to Force Lightning, and then you're still only drawing one Battle Destiny because you're not going to flip.
Right.
Like, this is a really good start for Eddie. So, and he moved Shizor over to the Coruscant docking bay so he can then move him to Tatooine and flip. And
So Brad's definitely doing the home one docking bay route to have the reduced cost for the Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight.
which is pretty common. I know with Watch Your
Yeah.
Step, you were either running Luke Jedi Knight or there were definitely builds that ran Luke with lightsaber and
Mhm.
then battle tricks because you get to play them twice, which is real good.
Yeah, I
But
remember Watch Your Step back in the day, but I never considered the home one docking bay and insurrection start because just was that was a play line I did not take.
yeah, it's interesting the battle plan draw their fire start instead of staging areas tells me we should probably expect to see some sort of beggar beatdown coming in because
Yeah,
you start with
people.
Tatooine, you've got
Yeah,
you have the intrinsic sense alter control. So you flip, you put down beggar. There's really nothing the dark side can do about it.
yeah. People that know me know that I have a very big distaste for draw their fire and beggar because there is no natural solution besides alter in the game for it at this in retro. Um, I think it's a completely toxic mechanic.
Oh, I'm not a fan of it at all. Let's see if that helped the volume at all, because I think I've got everything else I can have turned up here as high as it'll go. So just let me know in chat if volume improved at all or not. I'm not seeing anyone say yes, so I'm going to have to play around with some stuff. So I might just let you do a little bit of talking while I see if I can play around a little bit more. So feel free to just sort of take over.
I hope that because I'm on the computer speakers, that's not affecting yours.
No, I think it's on something on my end. So
Okay. Nice. End of turn two. Rabbit's got the Sheezer and the Vigo at the Death Star docking bay. He's probably running a copy of Put All Sections on Alert and the Emperor. So, it wouldn't surprise me if Brad had like two copies of Beggar and maybe even an effective repairs in the deck.
yeah, I mean the put all sections on alert is good, but I'm not sure. All right, so it sounds like it did improve. So maybe it is just this. So the downside of the put all sections on alert against Watch Your Step, there's not a lot of guys whose text you're canceling. Like Watch Your Step is basically running aliens, and put all sections on alert just hits rebels. So
Third, the good thing with Sheezer though is you need at least ability 6 there for Destiny. So if you go with just the aliens, um, Agents of Black Sun's going to have a lot of answers with possible like IG88 or different ways to exclude.
yeah, for sure, you're going to need multiple aliens to get that 6 because of Shizor. But you may be able to just ignore him. I mean, we see Luke Jedi Knight come down to the home 1 docking bay. Once
Who does he
he
have?
moves him to Tatooine.
Oh, and okay, so he deployed a Myrex Impulsor Skate to the spaceport.
Yeah, just to take advantage of the slightly cheaper deploy. So, and Mirax flies up to Tatooine. So Luke's sitting there. I'd assume we're also going to see, he's also sitting on something like a fallen portal, as that's a pretty, you know,
Oh yeah,
still very common in the era. But yeah, I expect with the Draw Their Fire start, I expect to see a beggar, an attempt at a beggar play. So I think Eddie definitely needs to keep that kind of in mind. And it could even be something like a beggar plus tripler. Something like Han with gun, and I have a bad feeling about this type thing. So we do see Eddie pay 3 to drain. So he is just grinding damage through as much as he can.
okay. He loses the laser cannon from the deck. I'm guessing that. I mean, I assume with Theron, Net, and Wedge, maybe only running one cannon, so that does open up some protection there.
Yeah, you lose the Zuckuss. That's probably your Zuckuss protection, as he lost Luke's saber as well, and then you see he throws the weapon levitation from hand. So
Yeah, good call.
he probably, that was probably his only Luke saber, and he's not expecting. There's nothing in Agents that I would expect to be dropping lightsaber, dropping weapons you need to steal.
Yeah.
So Eddie's drawing a huge hand.
Eddie's going big. He's looking for combos and things to string together with Black Sun.
Yeah, and he may be trying to find his space too. Like Black Sun, you're probably only running probably 2 Zuckuss and Mist Hunters, and I don't know what else. But you're not running a ton of space.
Maybe a Fed and Slave one, but I could see maybe 2 Zuckuss and 2 Forlom.
Yeah, and that would be Zuckuss, Forlom, and IG is actually a pretty nasty little combo, especially if the X-Wing cannons are gone. See the Drain of 1 at Tatooine, Projective Telepathy to make Brad pay 2, and Brad chooses not to. He's kind of force choked right now. Like Eddie's giving away 1 icon total.
Classic Black Sun.
And Brad, once he flips and gets a couple systems, his activation will get good. But this is where that Draw Their Fire start staging areas would definitely feel a little bit better. Getting a couple extra force would help a lot here.
At this point in the game, would you go with staging areas classic for the +2 activation, or would you do the combo? Because it's staging areas, and is it the
it's the Insight Forever?
Insight?
Yeah, Insight. So you get this -1 to Dark Jedi defense value, which can be real big when you've got like Vader coming at you and you're trying to dump a uh, fallen portal. But is also real good for like you could sack it once you've got your activation going, and go get something like battle order or battle plan and run with that. We do see that Coruscant or Brad drops Kessel. He drops Wedge in Red 1, Red Squadron 1. He's going to fly up. He's going to move over. He's going to get flipped. It's actually only going to cut Eddie's activation by 1.
Yeah.
Like Eddie's only got he's got the one Coruscant site, and that's Coruscant system, and that's it. Everything else was only generating 1 for him, or the non-battlegrounds at least. So like that really doesn't hurt him too much.
So with the 1-4 saved, I'm guessing that Brad is sitting on, like it's Watch Your Step, so he has answers everywhere. But wouldn't surprise me if he has a hyper escape in hand, and then if he doesn't have to use it, then he has the 1-4 to Mirix to
Barrier.
or barrier.
Yeah, it's probably I would say barrier is more likely than hyper escape, just because barrier is more generally useful across all things, because that'll help him on the ground as well. And yeah, I would say if it gets to battle phase and there's nothing getting started, he probably is just going to Mirix something down and start cycling cards. That's the one thing like Eddie I think would like to be doing with his objective, but he's got to get Luke off the table.
That's ultra rare. All right, so Brad gets a verify of Eddie's deck, so he has an idea of what isn't, in the reserve.
Yeah, but I mean, with 30 cards he didn't see there between the 14 in force and the 16 in hand, he's still got to be expecting a lot there. Ooh.
Think he's going for first strike or blast door controls?
Blast door controls would be much better than first strike.
I can see him going for some BDC.
Yeah, first strike I'd be a little leery because I think Brad wants to be starting battles as well. All right, so the battle order first strike combo. All right, that I don't mind. The combo I'm fine with it. I wouldn't have wanted old first strike just because you don't want to be giving away force retrieval in a deck where he's,
Yeah.
to start battles against you as well.
Ooh, a patrol craft. Interesting.
That's pretty standard. Patrol crafts and Palace Raiders are real strong because they add that destiny on the patrol craft. You get 1 Raider on a patrol craft, 1 Raider off a patrol craft, and you're drawing 3 battle destiny with Watch Your Step. So those were real common in this era. Honestly, like that was the deck I contemplated building with some sort of celebration with docking bays, but the Spaceport docking bay, you run the risk of no escape just hosing you at it, and the other Tatooine docking bay is episode 1, so it wasn't quite as good as what I wanted to do with it. But those patrol crafts reacting back and forth across Tatooine, drawing multiple battle destinies, it can get oppressive quick if you don't have a way to stop reacts. So you can literally just sit 1 patrol craft with a Palace Raider at each exterior site and just be like, all right, come battle me somewhere. You start a battle, I'm going to react to patrol craft over, I'm going to draw 3 battle destiny. The average destiny is crazy high, and first strike plus broken con. So Eddie says, I'm going to go for a first strike beatdown too.
Yeah, he doesn't have much to do with it this turn, of course, but
even just burning.
But just that threat is nice. It forces Brad to keep force safe. Yeah.
Like the reality is, Brad's still only activating 12. Like he's still not. His guys are mostly cheap, but they're cheap because you need multiples of them. Like to go at either site, Brad needs at least 3 guys, which is at least 6 force before you can do anything. Like the biggest thing Brad's got going for him right now is he's draining for more and he's draining for free. So Eddie's going to need to come up with something to respond to that, you know. And we see the drains. Emperor Palpatine from hand. Loses a projective telepathy from reserve. Hidden weapons. Control
Oh,
sun. And Dengar with blaster carbine. That hidden
I imagine
weapons.
that Eddie right now is saying, darn, I really wanted that set for stun.
Yeah, set for stun would be nasty. Although right now that set for stun doesn't do much. Like the set for stun, if you set for stun away one of the systems, I guess you block the drain for a turn, but the systems are helping
It
you
would
on
be for
play.
later game.
Yeah, like it wouldn't shock me if he has more than one, because in this deck where your idea is to be cycling heavily while staying flipped, so you can track to whatever and set for stun away anything. That's pretty common. So Brad's starting to spread. Like Eddie's got to come down with something here. And Brad saved 3 force, so he knows Eddie can send 1 back with Broken Con, but that would be it.
Yeah, so to play like a hyper escape, you would have to have 3 force saved going into this turn with the broken
Yeah.
con. Yeah.
So, and he'll send 1 back, and that's fine. And my guess is he won't drain now. I think he's realizing that, yeah, paying for drains is nice, but he's okay. He's still.
Hmm. Okay. Well, that's kind of solid though, because now Brad can just tunnel vision it back. So
Oh, Brad's super happy with that. Like,
yeah,
I don't think Eddie is. Brad's super happy,
yeah.
but Eddie, I'm not sure what Eddie's doing here, but I don't like it. Like he's
I
just
think he's honestly, I think he's probably just causing as much force loss as he can to lower the differential.
could be. I mean,
Like,
he's
like
got so
the way
much
it's going, I
movement
don't know if he's
for
playing for
neutral
the.
step.
I don't know if he's playing. If he wins, great, but I have a feeling that he's just trying to cause damage.
Or he's just not finding the combos he needs
Or of course that.
because that. All right, so he's grabbing Dengar, but like Dengar
Hmm?
costs 5. Like, it's, what are you doing with Dengar right now? That's what I don't like about the drains. Is it with paying for the drains, he's spent everything he's
Hmm.
got.
Is he going to slide over
Oh, and the
Sheezer
no escape.
Vigo?
Yeah, he might. And the no escape meant Dengar drop cheap, and there's the rebel barrier,
Ah,
which
yes.
I think you're okay with. I think this is where, yeah, you slide Shizor and the Vigo over and start, trying to do something.
Oh,
All right.
okay.
So that barrier hurt him, though.
I wonder if he's got another hidden weapons copy.
If he's running Jodo, I would expect he's probably running 2. And there's a Vigo. Yeah, he's taking full advantage of that no escape. Everybody deploys cheap
I totally forgot about that
to the
part of
big
this
guy.
text.
That's why that docking bay is so dangerous. Because no escape just
Oh,
because he did have the other hidden
so
weapons.
he's looking for a 2 or a 3.
Yep.
There it is.
Oh, honestly, a 4 wouldn't have killed him. Like a 4
Well, he's
says you
looking for the
hit him and you
capture.
take him off the battle. You lose him at the end of the battle. Captured is even better, but just anything that takes him off table is good for Eddie. So
Well, he's going to be able to now docking bay transit Sheezer and the Vigo over to the spaceport docking bay and stay flipped, start causing that direct damage.
yeah, no, it's going to be real hard for Brad to get Luke back right now. That's going to be the thing is now do you move them to Tatooine or do you move well you can't move Dengar so I think yeah you got to move Shizor and the Vigo to Tatooine. So because you can't both of them they all have terrible forfeit. You can't just leave them alone and try and get here. Oh yeah, if he was thinking about letting him escape, that would have been a terrible play. You absolutely take him and then you bring Shizor and Vigo over and say good luck.
Yeah.
Like
Build,
Johto's armor
build that
5.
stack.
Good luck trying to come down with enough power and shoot to make that happen. And Brad Mirax is. So we were right. Eddie was trying to find his combo. I
Okay.
forgot
So
how cheap that
yeah.
Bkippel deploy was, and I think Brad might have miscalculated in leaving Luke there and giving
Then
up that super free deploy because Eddie would not have been able to drain before then. Now, granted, he didn't drain for a. It wasn't too bad because he controlled the one drain, but it's still a lot of damage. Now, Eddie didn't move them over.
yeah, I'm kind of surprised on that.
I'm. I don't
I
like
mean,
that.
but he also might be, what, okay, we already got Mirix, Wedge, Chewy, and a Raider on the table.
And
Hmm.
honestly, like right there,
But he does have Dengar with the 2 shots. So if
you're fine with the
Brad
two
were to
shots.
drop, like he might have 2 shots and the battle Destiny Adder if you fire like a bounty hunter weapon.
Honestly, I wouldn't even be that worried about that.
Yeah.
Like you here, I think you have to just like he left all these guys forfeit for like a total of 10. The Vigo's a 4, and the other two are 3s. So you drop 2 smugglers and battle.
Yeah. If you draw 8, Luke is going free.
Yeah, you draw, you know, an 8. Luke has to be well. Yeah, you just have to crack 8. All right, I don't like the patrol craft there.
Unless he's going to bring over Chewy, the Raider, and another Raider.
I guess. So we see that Raider get barriered. So that Eddie was sitting on the barrier, which is good, but again, like that's even more. You could have just a couple smugglers and just go nuts at them. Yep. So there's 2 Raiders plus dash. So that's. I mean, he's not drawing Destiny against Shizor right now.
He has one more. No.
See, this is where I would have liked to see them go to that spaceport docking bay. And because the patrol craft, you can add 1 driver and 1 passenger. You drop the first Palace Raider as a passenger. If he gets barriered, then you can drop the second one as driver. Otherwise, you leave him there. And then you battle. You're drawing 3 Destiny at that point. You're definitely cracking 8 with 3 Destiny. And
I would like to think though that Eddie would see that it was deployed as a passenger and be like, I am not battling that one or not burying that
which is
one.
fine because you can move him to driver right away. Then you
Can
can do
you?
that in deploy. Yep, you can do that in deploy. That's one of the
Oh, okay.
reasons
So
why.
if you drop him as a driver but bury him, then he's stuck. Okay.
Yeah, if you drop him as a driver and he gets buried or stuck, you drop him as a passenger. They don't bury him, then you move him to the driver's seat, and now you do it. So
That's a nice play around.
and we see G-Man subscribed with Prime. He's subscribed for 21 months on a 2-month streak. Thank you very much. That's awesome. Subscribing with Prime is one of the great ways you can support the Players Committee and what they're doing in terms of keeping the game running. Like if you've got Amazon Prime, you get a free subscription on Twitch, costs you nothing, throws a few bucks into the PC coffers, which allows them to do things like this tournament and the prizes and stuff that go from this. So thank you very much, G-Man. If you haven't subscribed yet, you definitely should. So Eddie's draining now, and Brad throws Control Tunnel Vision out of play to cancel the Cantina drain. I mean, Eddie can't battle Brad there. You can't walk into that battle. Dash forfeits for 7. The Palace Raiders each forfeit for 5. Like, you gotta run away. And there's no place great to run.
Yeah, I mean, run away, or I was going to say bring down Guri and then slide over, but that does not appear to be the case.
Alright, so
Okay.
Stinger and Guri at Kessel.
So it doesn't block the drain. Okay, oh, there,
I was gonna
okay.
say, he's gotta have
There it
somebody
is.
else coming. So that's a solid play. I mean, you're
Has
gonna lose
he,
somebody
has he
though.
broken concentration yet this turn?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay, then I would expect him to. Oh, let's see what happens.
Honestly, I might be willing to just leave. Like, if I'm
I
Brad,
was,
leaving
I was
Mirax,
thinking that.
drawing
Oh,
Battle
go ahead.
Destiny to get rid of either Guri or Bosk is not a terrible strategy. So there's the broken con to stop him from playing an interrupt, which is fine.
Yeah, so he definitely needs to slide Sheezer and the Vigo back over to Tatooine.
Yeah, Sheezer and the Vigo need to get the heck out of Dodge. So he draws a 7 for total battle destiny, which is technically just Mirax. Because Mirax forfeits for 7. Ooh, that 1 is bad, but at the same time, it still costs him Bosk. And he's really only down a couple force.
That's a lot of peel though if he doesn't have the Ujix.
He's only down 2 force. You lose
No, no,
Mir-
the 14 damage.
Yeah, Mirax forfeits for 7. The Skate
Oh, the
forfeits for
ship. Yeah,
5.
sorry.
You're losing 2 force, and Eddie's got to make a decision. Does he? Okay, so he's leaving Guri up there and just saying, "All right, I'm going to stop you from drawing multiple Battle Destiny at Kessel." Like it, even if he'd had the Hujix, he couldn't have played it because of the first strike.
Yeah,
But it wasn't that big of a deal. Like 2 force just isn't all that much. So
I had completely forgot about the forfeit of the ship.
I like moving Shizor and the one Guri just to the spaceport docking bay and not moving in front of Chewie and the Raider.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
But
agreed.
you don't want to. You don't need Shizor getting shot. So because you've suddenly turned the drain race somewhat closer. Like you're gonna have to back up the Stinger with something.
Well, I mean, the Stinger can't be battled.
The Stinger
So,
can't, but it also can't block a drain, and it can't drain.
well, yes, I mean, but he is running low on dudes and ships, perhaps.
I mean, he's got a Falcon in hand.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he grabbed a Falcon a long time ago and has never done anything with it.
Ah, okay.
So he's got a Falcon sitting in hand. There goes the put all sections on alert. Here's the Falcon. Speak of the devil. Now the question is, do you put the Falcon? See, I don't. That's Brad, I think, kind of clinging to. I really hope he doesn't have any other space.
Yeah, I mean, if the board state were to stay just like this right now, Brad is pushing 5 a cycle, and Nrabbit is pushing 5 a cycle.
Yeah, but Rabbit's paying for it and Brad isn't.
Yes.
So long term, that benefits Brad. And Brad's got at least one more control tunnel vision to cancel the drain at Tatooine, which means at least one of those cycles he's only losing 3 force instead of 5, which adds up. And if he's got an it's a hit, that adds up even more.
And admittedly, I have not been paying attention to what is going to Brad's lost pile.
He played a control tunnel vision from hand to cancel the drain at least one other time, I believe. So.
Oh, and he did lose 1 control tunnel vision from the 2 battle damage.
That's the one. Like I
Yeah,
said,
okay.
seeing the one go to lost, and that was it. He peeled it to the battle damage because then you know exactly where it is, and you're not drawing the 1, which you're happy about. So. This is, I'll take the leader from hand, and Old Ben. Old Ben's another great card for him.
Oh, yeah.
I actually think, well, I guess it doesn't really matter. I'd say Brad maybe needs to docking bay transit everybody over to Tatooine. Yeah, I think you do anyways, just to block that drain. Like you force him to move away.
If Eddie does take a peek at the top of his deck and has a possible like 5 or something there, I could see him initiating a battle with Guri at Kessel just to knock Han off the table.
Well, he can't. He'd have to have another ship. He can't start a battle with Guri. Guri has no presence. Right now, Guri is just sitting there. That's why.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yep.
Drains.
For some reason, I was thinking that Guri could initiate battle.
No, he's still got it. Guri is not. That's IG-88 in ship.
Mm.
And if he's playing that, he doesn't deserve to be in the top 8. That was a bad card when it came out, and it didn't get any better over time.
I have had some fun with that though, with a bringing him before me TIE Bomber deck that I made.
Yeah, like it's not. There are worse cards, but it was very niche, and it was not. You know, it had to work on its own, which was never really a great thing. So Eddie says, I don't have any space. He moves the Stinger over and just draws some. Moving the Stinger over is really a precursor to landing it, I think, if he doesn't have any
Yeah,
space.
agreed.
You land it, you jump Guri out, you let Shizor and, probably Shizor and a Vigo move over with Guri in front of Chewie and say, come at me, bro. Because Chewie's probably not hitting Guri with a shot, and Guri stops Chewie from shooting at Shizor.
I do believe I saw a blaster proficiency go lost earlier, so that +3 could help.
That +3 could help. He's still got to. I mean, then he's got to draw 3 because Guri's a 5. So we see the drain of 1. Come here, you big coward. Goes away. Not a big loss. Another drain of 1. Bad feeling have I. Uses.
So Eddie's stacking the destiny here.
Yep. And then we see another drain of 1. There goes presence off the top. Like Eddie's got more cards right now. I mean, he's got 14 and 7 is 21 compared to Brad's 18, although he'll be down to 18 each after this Kessel drain. But I'd much rather be in Brad's position right now. Like, Eddie kind of shot a lot of what he had taking Luke off the table. And it took him so long, Brad was able to get set up and get everything he needed. So Brad's looking at his 1 card in reserve deck. Is he planning to do something with that 1? Oh. And he's going to on the edge Captain Han. That's not nice. There's the 5, so he'll pay 4 to retrieve 4. And he can do the exact same thing next turn and play on the edge from Lost. That's
pretty big.
That changes all the math on the, hey, it's real close right now, to it's not real close anymore. If you can get another 4 or 5 back, that's Eddie's got to have something. Eddie needs some sort of space here. So, yep, we see Brad move in front of the Shizor stack, like right
I got 3 Battle Destiny, come at me.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he's saying, is if you start this battle, yeah, you might shoot the patrol craft and dash, and you might end up with Eddie not having a ton of forfeit there. I mean, he'd still have 10 forfeit in that case because each of the raiders will go for 5. But, like, those 3 Battle Destiny are going to take out a lot of things when you got 8, 14 in forfeit before you get to Shizor. And, 3 5s is very reasonable. He's got a, whatchamacallit in Lost Pile, the heading for the Med Frigate to add 1 to something. So I think Eddie needs space to go after Wedge right here.
Yeah, that was. Zuckuss has been lost. Houndstooth has been lost. Like, maybe he has a Fett and Slave 1.
I would expect.
Yeah, that's only 1 Battle Destiny because it's only ability 3 and it's a draw one if unable
Yeah.
to otherwise.
I would expect he's double Zuckuss. Like, two Zuckusses was much more impactful than anything else. So, and that would get him two Battle Destinies against Wedge. It would also mean Wedge draws nothing. So everyone stays alive, and then you move them in front of.
All right, so Eddie activated 6.
And he causes the 2 force loss.
If he skips to deploy phase, then something's coming.
Yeah, but
Right. Okay.
6 he battles for free, but.
Yeah. So I think you're right. I think something at Tatooine.
He left that much. I think he's dropping another thing at the docking bay. And he might be trying to do another, like, hey, I'm going to hidden weapons. Maybe even like a sniper dark strike. Get it down to it's just one raider, just the raider on the patrol craft type thing. That's. Okay, so there's Boba Fett blaster rifle, which, yeah, so you've got another shot to kill everything. There's Forlom, who does nothing.
It's forfeit fodder.
Yeah, I guess. One more thing to keep him alive and to keep Shizor alive, but otherwise does really nothing. I mean, he'll get an extra. Well, he won't even get any extra power. Neither Dash or the Raider have text that's at all matters. But yeah, this way, I think you're going to see a hidden weapons. Oh, there's the fallen portal at
Shizor and Dengar.
Dengar and Shizor. That could be bad if he hits. And Brad does hit. That's.
Do you think he knew that was there?
I think he probably did.
Okay.
He's been using. I mean, he was using Merrick's and stuff. He might not have, but that would have been a. That would be a risky play if you don't know.
Oh, he did draw the I'll take a leader for Battle Destiny previously. Oh wait, no,
No, he
my auto scroll was not turned off.
As I say, he lost one.
Oh, it was the final card that he retrieved from the on the edge.
Which also means now he knows where that 6 is on the edge. All right, so we do still see a hidden weapons on Dash, which is 4, so he's hit, which is functionally meaningless. And Jodo will cancel one of those Battle Destinies.
Oh, yeah, no.
If he draws more than one Battle Destiny, he may cancel one. So, like, Jodo was actually going to keep him alive there a little bit. The Fallen Portal hit hard because it. Losing Caesar, we're only running at most one more.
Yes, yeah. So Brad's Battle Destinies then are going to be Old Ben, Lando, and Fallen Portal.
Okay, so if they're in that, and Jabba's through with you to add a Destiny, so.
Nice.
I mean, Dengar Dash is forfeit 7, so that'll hurt a little bit. Like, I almost would have shot with. I don't know if I'd have at least contemplated shooting with Boba instead. Shooting Dash with Boba just to make him forfeit 0.
Okay, so now the first Battle Destiny is X. Oh, cheeky. Okay, so he's getting a reserve deck shuffle now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is fine. And grabbing the Outrider to get a 2 out of there. Crush. Going for. Oh, he took I Have You Now, so he took a 5 out as well. That's. I don't know what he's going to expect from I Have You Now. Oh. That's not good.
Oh.
Wow, that's brutal.
That's rough.
That's real bad. There's a 4. He can't do anything about that. There's a 3. I think you let that live.
Yeah.
7 is fine. 7 is 2 Vigos. Like, 7 you can tolerate, or even a Vigo and a Forlom.
Oh.
Alright, well, you
can probably the only one left in the deck, too.
Yeah. That's fine. It was what it was. Wow, that was. Those 2 1s was absolutely brutal. So yeah, we see one Vigo now. We're going to lose Forlom, or are we going to lose the other Vigo? Well, the Vigo forfeited for 6, but didn't matter because 7 still is. Yep, and we lose the Forlom. That did not go Eddie's way.
No, definitely not.
Especially now with those ones sitting on top. Well, I guess he's going to peel the ones to the drains probably. He lands the Stinger, gets Gurry out. That's fine. Like, Brad doesn't need to battle here.
No.
Brad just moves that patrol craft away and says, you have 4 cards in hand, what are you going to do to me?
Yeah, Brad's pushing the 5 damage.
And he's going to on the edge for 5 here.
Yeah.
As well. So, yeah.
The other control set for stun.
Yep. Eddie's just peeling off reserve here. I think what you're going to see is probably. Oh no, he's losing ground. I was going to say, I think what you're going to see is a draw up.
Well, I mean, he did the back-to-back the ones, so he's getting rid of those for Destinies.
Yeah, well, he lost at least 1 from hand, which is a little. You don't necessarily want to do that because you want to minimize the cards in loss pile. So there's the on the edge for 5, calling 5, targeting Captain Han. There's the I'll take the leader. So he's going to pay 5 and retrieve 5. And this right there is why Brad's consistently in the top 8 of these tournaments, and you and I are commentating. Because Brad's very good and played this very, very well. So, and he's celebration. You don't have a way to stop it if you're Eddie.
So for these top 8 playoffs, is drawing up an option?
Yes, drawing up is always an option. He can't just concede. So, I'll be honest, I'm not. Well, I guess you probably. I'm not positive I would have barriered there.
I kind of like it because it gives him a chance to counterbeat at least.
You're not counterbeating there. Well, I guess he's only drawing 1 Destiny there, so you're not. As I say, I might have just said, fine, battle me, and I'll just peel for the damage. Like, it gives up another card and gives up more cards in Lost instead of in hand.
Yeah.
But I don't. At this point, I don't think Eddie's winning the game.
No.
And if you're not winning the game, this is a rough spot to decide what do you want to do. And that might be what's going through his head right now as he's deciding what to activate. Because you could certainly activate and start a battle there and try and shoot Melas and then draw your Destiny.
Yeah, but he's got a Fallen Portal in the Lost Pile, yeah?
And I think he does, and that's why I don't think I would, but I think I would have then activated everything and just drawn up and had less cards in Lost Pile. So going through the using the concede option and just, conceding messes with the differential, and there, Brad loses the Outrider from hand, and he loses a Patrol Craft from reserve, so he's respecting the chance of a limited resources by keeping 3 in hand. So this is going to be the question. Does he start the battle? He might not have a Fallen Portal and Lost anymore. Because he retrieved the...
Yeah, no, he did retrieve it, yeah.
And it's a used interrupt, so if he's got another one in hand, he runs the risk of a limited resources for 4 hitting him.
True.
So, and that, losing from reserve at this point is he's respecting the chance of limited resources. There's another Shizor. I was not sure he would have another.
Okay, and he's got the Guri, so that's just 1 Destiny.
Yeah, Guri was going to be 1 Destiny either way. It's more the Shizor is a bunch more power, but it's also a, your chance at Fallen Portal.
He's taking the gamble if he has the portal.
Yep.
Oh?
He does not, because he's moving to the peeking at the top two cards, and he's probably clearing the site at this point because the attrition is going to be +5 from the objective. For each Black Sun agent in battle, your attrition against opponents is +1. So that +5 to attrition is going to be, especially if he hits Melas here. And all right, so
Negative.
he got to look at those, which tells me he knew he was missing, and he was fine with that because he'd rather draw the next card for Battle Destiny.
But it still shuffles, so we don't necessarily because
No, it doesn't shuffle.
no he looked and then he initiated Palpatine.
Okay, yeah, you're right. I missed the Palpatine. So he drew a 3, which becomes an 8. That 5 is
That's the not the Stinger.
Boba Fett. No, it's just Boba Fett. Fett forfeits for 5. Stinger only forfeits for 4.
Or the Vigo, possibly.
Yeah, well, the Vigo adds 1 to your drain. So if
True.
you're trying to if you think you're going to get Brad to leave that site, I think you go with Boba.
Yeah.
So you're not really shooting anything else at this point. If you have hidden weapons, you would have already played it. And Brad uses heading to add 1, so now it's definitely going to be the Vigo. Unless you want to do Boba and the Stinger. Although, Boba and Stinger... Okay, so Eddie goes with the Vigo. I'm not sure Boba and Stinger wasn't necessarily the right choice. Just to keep the drain +1 if you're going to try and cause that little bit more of damage. So you've knocked him off that battleground, so he's only retrieving 1 now with Celebration. Like Eddie's trying. He's getting it as close as he can.
Yeah, he is.
You know, I don't think he's gonna. I don't think he gets there. Like at this point, this game is over. It's a question of differential and where that ends up. So I'm just getting a pen ready so I can write stuff down here.
Yeah, I think Eddie is kind of probably. Yeah, Eddie's just looking to hear probably what pay 6 to drain for 4, and then cause 2 damage with the.
Yeah, he got the ping of 2, so he lost the card from hand, which means he wasn't sitting on a whatchamacallit.
Oh.
Unita to grab
Get Melas.
I mean, are you just going to throw Melas at the Death Star docking bay and make it a drain of 6 next turn? Unless, I mean, Eddie just moves in front of it.
It's going to cost him 3 to move from that docking bay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right. And so then he can't drain. Instead, you throw him in front of Palpatine.
He's gonna move. He's just gonna move somebody, I think, over with the Emperor. He could move like the Palace Raider over with the Emperor, and then land like wedge like the or that. Okay.
Yeah, I don't love moving that Palace Raider. I don't like that. There's no reason to move anyone with Melas. Eddie can do at a maximum. Eddie can do is Power 4, Battle Destiny 6 to be at a total of 10, and Melas is 9 power and forfeit before you draw Battle Destiny.
Yeah, I think the game on I would have taken there.
Or yeah, actually, it's a full 10 because you get the +1 from Tatooine as well.
Yeah, like if you wanted to block the Emperor drain or something, like I don't know, man. I don't like the Palace Raider.
I hate the Palace Raider play. The Palace Raider says he's hitting on a Hujix, and but like it's only a drain of 1. You could have just lost the Hujix. I don't like the Palace Raider play at all. The Melas in front of Palpatine, actually, I'm totally fine with.
Yeah.
You can't lose force there. Like you block the drain with.
Okay, so he just lost the Hujix from hand, so he's got it in the lost pile.
Yep, and he just lost it's a hit from reserve, which would allow him to cancel another drain if need be, but
Yeah.
That's a next turn's problem, and I don't think Eddie's going to have enough force to drain next turn. He won't, because he's going to lose 4 or 5. See, like, I don't love the... Like, he lost the Hujix to the... I guess he lost the Hujix to the damage, and now he's going to be able to use the Hujix from Lost to save it. So he saves himself 1 force by doing it that way. So, alright, I get it. I didn't even think about that, because, yeah, this way he can forfeit everything and then Hujix it, and he effectively lost nothing to that drain, because he already had those 2 cards on table, and the Hujix was covered for the damage.
So you think, I mean, initiate against Melos and then docking bay transit ready in front of Chewie?
I don't think you docking bay transit. I think you just walk a couple of them. Like, you might as well wave
Yeah.
a few of them. There's no...
Oh, yeah, just walk over like Sheezer and Guri.
Yeah. Walk over Sheezer and Guri and say thanks. Like, initiating against Melos is fine. Like I said, Melos, it's 4-4. Melos forfeits for 6. There's no way this causes him any battle damage, so he lost 1 force instead of 2.
I mean, at this point, he's just stopping Brad from retrieving 1.
And actually, that Destiny of 6
Yeah.
is Eddie. Like,
Mm.
yeah, Eddie's peeling. Well, he can't peel all of it, unfortunately. He peeled everything but 1, and now he's going to draw 1.
Rather draws, yeah.
So it's going to be 9...
18.
18, yep, so it'll be 18 with 40, and is that 19 in lost pile?
It is.
Alright, so let's see what they're... I'm assuming they're going to give us like 5 minutes to do stuff while I switch this up. Brad is plus 15.
I'm going to ping Eddie.
Yeah, he's taking a
5-minute break. Perfect.
5-minute break, which is about right. I'm going to go grab a water real quick. We will be back in a minute to kind of talk about what we saw and what we're getting ready for next game.
Cool. See you soon.
So, if you're just joining us, we saw the first game. Brad Kippel took it down by 18 over Eddie Nrabbit. Watch Your Step effectively took care of Agents of the Black Sun. We did not see Beggar, which was the card I was really calling. We were going to see a Beggar beatdown, I thought. Very well played match by both players. Eddie played awesome. I mean, he stayed flipped for quite a bit of the game. He took Luke off table, captured him with hidden weapons. Just couldn't get enough damage through. Didn't have a good answer for that Kessel Drain of 3. And then late, Brad retrieved 9 with On the Edge, and that definitely separated things real quickly. Like, that 9 kind of ended it for him.
Yeah, definitely skewed the percentage meter there towards the end.
Yeah, I mean, but On the Edge did that. Like On the Edge
Yeah,
played
it
like
was it
that.
was
That's
it was a great game.
yeah. I think both players played very very well. I was impressed seeing them. So, what do you think we can expect for the second round or for the game two?
Admittedly, I have talked with Eddie about this and what he expects to put Brad on.
Okay.
Um, and like it's a theory, and I played against Brad in the charity event as well, and Brad was running Hunt Down. So as far as I know, Eddie's expecting Brad to run Hunt Down with some Watch Your Step hate.
Okay. And I think anything you play at this point has to have Watch Your Step hate.
Absolutely.
Um, Flipping Endor, like I remember there was an era for a little while where there was an Endor Ops flip deck that really just did a number on Watch Your Step, but
Hmm.
was really bad against, well, because it once you flip Endor Ops, you're like, all right, you get one Battle Destiny. That's it.
All
And
right, because that's everywhere across the board, right?
that's an across the board. That's just a opponent is limited to one Battle Destiny.
Yeah, I never really read the backside because the objective was, kind of poor.
It is actually in open. It's gotten a little bit better. They virtualized established secret base to make it a lot easier to pull off and do some stuff with. But it's it was an objective that wasn't great. But if you got it flipped, especially against the right deck, it got real obnoxious real quick. Um, Hunt
One
down
of my
with
favorite.
heavy
Oh,
watch your step hate would be a real reasonable thing to see here. And we see Brad's got his table up, so they may be getting started quick. Now, Eddie's going to have to play this one kind of aggressive. Like, he's down 18 force, so he's got to win by, really, by 19, because he had 40
so
points and lost. That was
are the lost piles like the secondary tiebreaker?
the lost piles is the tiebreaker. They're the first tiebreaker for match play. So if Eddie wins this game by 18, he has to win the match. He has to have 22 less cards in lost than Brad.
Okay, but if he wins by 19, he wins.
If he wins by 19, he just flat wins.
Okay, so in my mind, like that would be the first tiebreaker is differential. So, but we're saying the same thing. Awesome.
Yeah, I consider differential the primary thing, but you're right. If they each win one game, differential is the first tiebreaker.
A lot has changed in the past 25 years.
I, I grew up. I mean, I started playing tournaments when Dagobah was released. The first tournament I went to was right after
Me
Dagobah
too.
was released. The day after my high school graduation, I went to the all night party for graduation, which is a thing you do here, and stayed up till 6 a.m. Got home, slept for like 2 hours, and went and played a Star Wars tournament, my first one ever, and it was an experience. And so like a lot of that stuff has changed, and like differential is still to me like, oh, I'm just used to counting differential. So we see Brad versus Eddie.
Table is up.
Tables up. I am in, waiting to see. Yep. So we do have Hunt Down and Destroy the Jedi, and Eddie just starting Obi's Hut.
Yep. So,
And careful planning.
I had some knowledge of this, so I was just keeping quiet.
All right. Yes, this is a game for this is the top 8 for the charity event, Squires. So this is careful planning for the farm or something like Mos Eisley.
Ashi.
Oh, Tashi. Okay. All right. So we're gonna go heavy Obi-Wan to keep, in theory, keep Brad on the 0 side. Brad's not running Epic Duel, which would be the one thing you were at, and Eddie dropping Yoda Stew. Okay. I have a feeling just from the way you said that, there's going to be a lot of things where I'm going to be like, all right, that's not what I expected.
I
So,
did do one playtest game with Nrabbit here, so
and we see Brad grab the Executor with mob points, grabs the Executor docking bay. He's only got 5 force, so he can't get Vader out turn 1, which was always kind of the thing that felt bad with Hunt Down. So instead, he's going to go Palpatine to the docking bay, bump his activation way up for next turn, and just lose 1 to Visage and play for next turn.
yep.
So, which makes sense. That's the Emperor at the docking bay is the way to go there. Eddie loses Sorry About the Mess combo from reserve, and Brad loses TIE laser cannons from hand. So is he running? Well, he didn't go grab Milwaukee, so he's not grabbing. So he might not be running something like that. All right.
From what I saw of Brad's deck, he was running some of the Saber squadrons and the cannons as Watch Your Step to hate.
Okay. I was wondering if he was doing something funky with like interceptors and cannons and Milwaukee to retrieve
Yeah.
with Visage. Like Dr. Torch was doing a Bring Him Before Me, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, who is
Okay.
winning? What's the story here? Brad Kippel won game 1 by 18 force with Watch Your Step versus Agents of the Black Sun. This is the start of game 2.
Oh,
And oh, there went the unsalvageable. I know we joked a little bit. Um,
that's big. I mean,
that
okay,
was really
a
big.
1 in 3 chance, but having the unsalvageable that was huge.
Although my guess is, did he lose Vader from hand, or where did? There's no way he lost Vader from hand. Hold on, I gotta. Yeah, he lost Vader from reserve. That's
Yeah, I did.
it's risky to lose from reserve like that
Oh, absolutely.
in this deck, and especially honestly, like it wouldn't shock me if there's a couple out of commissions in there. Um, so now something's going on with your
Yeah.
sound. I'm not sure.
With my sound?
I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on right now. Brad's just drawn a bunch. Like he deployed Janice with Palpatine, moved them both over to the Death Star docking bay, picked a couple up, lost Mara Jade's lightsaber from the top. Eddie lost a control tunnel vision. Eddie's going to activate and drain. Like that Tashi station with Obi-Wan is a decent little.
Yeah, it is.
He's got some solid activation going.
All right, so Brad loses a perfect Sabic from the top of the deck.
Yep. I'm sure he was totally planning on that too.
Absolutely.
And there goes Janice doing Janice things. Janice, quite possibly the
Did he
third
fetch a
most
force up
powerful
already?
card. No, he did not. Not this turn.
Okay.
And there's
Oh,
the out of commission again. Oh, he just hits the I have you now. I mean, it was a 1 in 6 chance at that point. So, and Eddie's just drawing. Is he running like 5 out of commission combos just to
I honestly I don't know.
like just a monster? Look, I don't want to if I face hunt down, I want to be able to either snap cancel Visage or I'm only giving up 1 icon. I'm going to make them earn it, and while they're waiting, I want to risk them losing Vader off the top and sending him out of play, which would be nasty. There went Mos Eisley off the top for Eddie, and another out of commission.
Wow.
And he gets the cannon, so he's running at least 3. Like Eddie's not playing around with that. So we see Adrena 2, Blaster Deflection, and Lando with Axe.
I mean, Eddie has been learning at the altar of Torch, which is run a lot of out of commissions and take Vader off the table, and then just attack your opponent's lost pile.
Yep. And there's Vader to the Cloud City docking bay. I think maybe just to get him out. Like this way, Brad can start drawing cards, but like at least Vader's out, and you can try and protect him somehow. Short range fighters combo to go grab probably one of the Saber squadrons, but he might not be doing a lot with space.
I mean, it's a card to ditch to Visage at this point.
Well, it's a 5 in your reserve deck. It trades a
I
5 in
meant, I
your
meant,
reserve
I
deck
meant
to
the Saber
lose.
one.
Yeah, to lose Saber 1. Like, that's a solid. We
Not
lost
just
the Executor first, which makes
well,
sense.
yeah, absolutely.
I think you have to figure that the only way space is coming out is if he puts it out, and I don't think Brad's got space. Brad loses an unsalvageable and a first strike.
Okay.
And there's
Oh,
Honor, which is
nice.
very good. Like all of a sudden now, Visage is burning just one player.
Yeah. Now, when I did uh, tested one game with Eddie against this, I went hard for Tashi Station as Dark Side right off the bat to try to eliminate his activation bonus. Um, and his play around was very good. So I'm very much enjoying the other game line here.
And I think Brad might have tried that if he had had a first turn Vader. Like if he had
I think
had the Vader he could have gone at early, he might have. You gotta worry about it later. Like that first turn, Eddie, spent basically everything he had to get Ben and the Saber down there,
mhm.
and he only had like 3 or 4 cards in hand. Like that's where you take your shot with Vader, and then I have you now, and hope you crack a 5 and just kill Ben. But once Eddie's got a handful of cards and is kind of set up, that's a dangerous go. Like that's a hard. You run into a barrier, you run into something like it could be bad. So we see free drains, which is something that just never gets seen anymore, as neither of them have battle order. So we see the drain of 2 and the drain of 1. Like this game's going quick,
Yeah, it is.
but Eddie's put so little on table. Like Eddie's still got 33 cards in his life force. So there's Tempest
Mm.
1, and I think we're going to see. I bet you're seeing Igar here to get the extra Battle Destiny. Yep.
Okay.
So
Ah.
there's the barrier on Igar, which makes sense. Like that's kind of what I was talking about. Like you've got Ben's.
So, so I think this is what Eddie's been waiting for. Eddie's been waiting for something to come down for him to pounce on, and I'm expecting EPP combo Destiny beatdown.
Yeah, I think he didn't want to do that against Palpatine or Vader
No.
because you run the risk of Force Lightning or Choke. And there goes a beggar from reserve deck for Eddie, because Brad's now got 3 battlegrounds with Visage, and I think Brad's actually comfortable in the spot he's in right now because he's just like, I just want to grind out Force. Like I don't need to win this game as much as I need Eddie to win by less than 18. So if it's just a Visage pings us both all game, he's probably okay with that. Like I'm actually a little surprised he didn't move Tempest 1 over to
Um,
Obi's Hut. He could.
so keeping it there nullifies honor and starts pushing the visage damage.
Yeah, but moving him to Obi's Hut says, I'm going to drain you for 3 unless you come do something about this.
No, it'd be 1 though because of honor.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
It's kind of
You're right.
6-1 half does, and it also chokes his activation by the 5.
No, cutting the activation off is big. So, and he says, all right, fine, I'll move Obi to the Cantina, and
So he's saying I'll push 3, you push 4.
yeah. Which isn't terrible, although he's got to worry that Brad's now activating 18 and is Janising whatever he wants, and
Probably the visage that he pulled with the masterful move
oh,
combo.
I'm sure he's just
Yeah.
trying to. But it's what is he going to do with it? Like, does he have multiple cards that draw Battle Destiny to drop against Ben? And
He could be floating
Luke Jedi Knight from hand.
he could be floating like an Iggy with gun, perhaps.
Yeah. Like, there's a lot of things he could be running. So we see the Draina 2 loses Mos Eisley and a Ben Kenobi. Here's Draina 1 at the East platform. And then we'll see one more Draina 1 at Tashi Station. There goes Draw Their Fire, which is a card I think he probably would have liked to have. And Dodge. Like, Eddie's getting into the danger zone here. I mean,
He
he's
is.
got 25 cards.
All right, so here's the Iggy.
There's the Iggy. Now, and Forlom, so he's...
Oh, interesting. So even if he has a blaster deflection, like, it's either like lose Ben or stop him from getting captured.
Even with the blast... Yeah, I mean, the blaster deflection almost doesn't matter. So, Eddie's going to activate a bunch here, which is... You know, he's got to have some rebeat coming. And I think it's got to go at... I almost think it's got to go after Palpy and Janice. Like, they're causing more damage to you than anything else. So here's the shot. I think if you've got the blaster deflection, you use it. Alright. So, I think we're in agreement. There's probably a 7 for Battle Destiny there. And Ben's just going to wipe both droids.
I could see him maybe doing a blaster proficiency here if he maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, but he swung at 4 LOMs, so blaster proficiency wouldn't do anything. Like, he had the Sorry About the Mess because he lost the Sorry About the Mess combo as the first loss. If he was going to do that, you got to swing at IG because IG draws there. Like, the other thing he could have done, and I might have contemplated, is just not draw Battle Destiny.
So there's the 7.
And just say, alright, fine, both your droids are stuck at the cantina doing nothing, and you just play around them. So there's a 3 for Battle Destiny, which is sort of a, doesn't matter. Like, if he drew anything other than the 0, IG and Forlom were dying, and Ben dies. Now, is he sitting on like a...
Like an old Ben or something?
Yeah.
I don't know. I know that we saw the Jedi's Resilience earlier.
Yeah, he's not, because there goes IG and the battle ends.
Okay, well,
Alright.
if my sources are correct, I do believe he might be running 5 Kenobis in the deck.
And Brad says, alright, I need to... Okay.
Okay, so he's putting Vader there probably because of put all sections on alert, I'm assuming.
Say to protect, to put all sections on alert, but like, I think if you're Eddie, if you can only take out 1 docking bay, right now the Palpatine and Janice docking bay is more damaging to you because it's a drain of 2. And if you've got weapons, you just hit Janice and call it a day. So
what can you do with 20 force?
A whole lot of things. But maybe not, because he hasn't really drawn... Like, he's been sticking at that 12-card hand and hasn't really drawn a ton, and he didn't go after Tempest 1. Although I think he might have been fearing, like, a trample. But if he didn't have a Destiny Adder... Like, that's a tough...
Yeah, this is interesting.
I'm wondering if Eddie's hand maybe is just not as good as he'd like it to be. And he's not sure how to salvage the force. Like, Brad's at 28 cards total right now to Eddie's 36. So, like, Eddie's still a little bit ahead on cards, but he's got no board presence. So, like, it's gonna cost him some of those cards to get that board presence. And there's the beggar. And he lost 1 Draw Their Fire already. Yeah, I'm hearing that the volume contrast is off, and I'm not sure why that is.
I'm going to blame me for not talking loud.
No, you're loud, I'm not.
Oh,
I'm not sure how to...
Then I'll try to be quieter.
No, you're fine. No, it's something on my end, but everything seems to be turned on. the way it was supposed to be. Let's see if that helped at all. So, okay. So Eddie puts out Beggar and uses all of it to drop Luke down. And there's Leia with gun, which tells me probably Han with gun is coming.
Okay.
Now he's...
The question is, does he have draw their fire?
Well, he's
Oh,
got
damn.
sight.
So, but is he using it for the -1 with a possible proficiency, or is he gonna ditch it to? Nope. Okay, he's using it.
He's using it, and without draw their fire, like that Beggar was effectively worthless. Like, you paid 3 to put out Beggar and used 3 force.
It did allow him to get Han and Leia out.
He would have had that anyways, though, because he paid 3 to play Beggar, and then he used 3 force. So
True.
he would have done that either way. I'm just not sure what's going on.
No, that's it. You make a good point there.
So, and now I have you now to add 2 Battle Destiny, as Eddie lost Han, so he's no longer drawing 3. This is pretty much it. Like, alright, so he's smoke screening to kill Vader, but Brad's in such a commanding position right now. Like, Eddie just blew everything he had to get this set up, and he might end up with Leia sitting around. Yeah, I mean, he drew a 9, so he's going to end up with Leia sitting there, and all Brad has to do is drop Vader at a different battleground, and Leia does nothing. So he'll get this flip. He'll get the honor damage off. Nosy 101 subscribed with Prime. Thank you very much. Again, subscribing with Prime, the easiest thing you can do to support everything the Players Committee does. And even if you play mostly retro events like this, and you're not playing open, you don't care as much about all the shiny V cards and foils and stuff, like, just to support the PC so you have GEMP and a place to play all these retro games and have fun, like, that's awesome. And that's really what, where those Prime, a lot of those Prime dollars go, is just help keep GEMP online and running. So we see Brad activate everything he can. I mean, he's still got 17 cards in Life Force. I don't think Eddie's coming back from this. So, see the Draina 2 costs him Grimtash and the Cantina. There's Mara on top of Leia, which is cute. Alright, and Vader. I don't think you better.
There's not even a reason to battle him at this point, because Leia can't battle.
Yeah, like, I would have put them at the Cantina and said thanks.
Right, or so you just do this.
Sections on alert. I guess, like, if he had a fallen portal, he'd have played it before the put all sections on alert. So Brad just says, I'm going to go for the overflow and end it. So it's 17-3. Yep, that's game. After this, I mean, Eddie's going to be below what he can, below the 18. So, because 8 peeled off the top is going to do it, I think. So, and he's stopped peeling, which might be him. Yep, there. He just conceded. So, Bkippel wins both games and advances to the top 4. I don't know what the bracket looks like, so I'm not sure what he's playing. Super interesting deck from...
now, these decks for the top 8, are they allowed to change for top 4? Or are they locked in for the entire series?
I believe they were locked. I think they were locked in. I don't know if they could post one per round, but I believe all the deck choices are locked.
Okay, cool.
So they may have been able to say, I'm going to play this in top 8, this in top 4, this in the championship. But I believe all of the deck choices have already been made. They're already locked. So now it's just going to be play some games with the deck you are playing against what you expect your opponent to play and get that testing in. So we'll see where it goes from here. Congratulations to Brad. Thank you for hanging out with me. I mean, we're at, golly, it's 11 o'clock my time. I am old.
Only 9:13. Speaking of being old, happy birthday, Garrett.
Thank you very much. It's, 45 today, so I'm definitely feeling old about this, but this was a fun, I got to stream a couple Star Wars games, 3 Star Wars games today, which is a pretty solid birthday as far as I'm concerned. It's a good way to hang out and spend some time with people in a game that has, done a whole lot for me for a long, long time. So,
Dude, it's a great community. You are awesome with it, and it's been really awesome just getting to see some of your insights of the game over this past hour. It's been a pleasure.
for sure. And, thank you very much for hanging out with me, covering some of the spots where I'm trying to figure out volume and just, having your own insight because you're much more of a retro player, and you guys do a lot of that on the Discord, right? Is that the book club?
Yeah, book
Star Wars
club.
Discord? Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Book club, and then of course we got good old Renegade Squadron.
Yep, and those are all, spots for people to check out and be connected with the game. You got Facebook, you got Twitter, or whatever the heck it's called now. Obviously the forums and Slack, Discord. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on.
And we are building a Discord server, the Renegade deck repository. So just like a library for decks. So like a quick here's a deck and here's the idea, and have different things of like some competitive, some friendly, some theme decks. Just trying to grow that community. And
that's awesome.
Clayton Moore has been awesome with that as well. So has Tommy and Brian Avery.
That's awesome. Like, that's something we have for our team, but having a whole community where you're just like, hey, anybody can come in and look at these decks. Like, we just want to play cards, and that's awesome. And it's sweet that you guys are doing that and working on that. So, but I'm gonna let you roll. I'm gonna go to bed because, like I said, old, tired. Thank you for joining me. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and may the force be with you.
May the force be with you, or I should say, and with you.